All right, I'll give you the injury update that I have. So Ryan Bates, Jordan Phillips will not practice. Matt Milano will not practice. Reggie and Ed, both improving, will be limited today. And that should be it. So unless you have any other questions on that, that's the injury update for you.
Can you give us your thoughts on bringing Cole back into the fold?
Yeah, you look to add players that you think can help your football team. So that's really the situation here.
Do you acknowledge that maybe you do need some help in that slot position? You haven't maybe gotten what you'd hoped for? For instance, what Cole gave you last year?
Well, again, I mean, like I said, you're always looking to improve your football team. So I think Isaiah's done some good things. Crowder before that did some nice things also, and we're see if we can improve some of what we're doing, offensively in this case.
Sean, are you intrigued by what home field advantage might represent for both the Bills and the Dolphins this year, given that you played in those sweltering conditions back in September, and now you could be playing in a snowstorm, and how that kind of evens out the schedule in some ways?
Really just focused on trying to win this one game. That's really where our focus is.
Fun with that.
Just really focused on this one game and improving as a team overall. To Sal's question earlier.
Hey, Sean, if I could ask just one more thing on Cole, just in terms of what he brings. Brandon had just said he sees the game in a unique way, kind of like Josh does, in terms of reacting to what a defense is doing, getting open, that sort of a thing, and there's obviously symmetry between the two of them. Have you observed that in coaching him through the years, and what does that element mean to this offense?
Yeah, he's a smart football player. I think that goes without saying, really, and he's got a good rapport with Josh as well, as Brandon mentioned, and he's played this game a long time. He grew up in a football family with his dad, coaching him. So when you grow up around that type of environment, usually you have a pretty good feel for the game.
Sean, how much can you take from the first meeting with Miami, understanding the role the elements played? You guys are pretty depleted. Different guys were in the lineup. How much can you take from that game to learn from to use for this one?
Yeah, we look at it, and you try and develop through the years. So that was early in the season. I think game 3. So now we're in December, and they beat us in that game, and I thought it had a pretty good plan, and so we've got to obviously make some adjustments this go around.
Just to clarify on Milano's injury, was it all made worse in this last game, or is this just the same thing he's been dealing with?
Yeah, same thing he's been dealing with. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: are there any inherent advantages that the Bills might have, being accustomed to playing in windy, colder conditions going into this weekend?
I mean, they're going to be in the same conditions we're in. It's not like every day we're out playing in 6 inches of snow around here, So I think perceptually, people get this perception of that we go out and practice in the snow every day. But we're just, like I said, working on being focused and improving as a team.
Given all the factors that have gone into the secondary with the injuries you've had, and you're trying to get these new kids and find their way in the NFL, has this been as challenging a positional group that you've had maybe in a while, getting that all to meld together?
With the
secondary in general, with all the injuries and all the new guys that you've been playing every week, has it been a particular challenge, I guess, back there for you?
Well, I mean, there's always challenges, and you're moving pieces around. You're trying to find the right combinations. You're trying to find the right people in those different spots. Maybe to your question, Sal, and we remain confident in all those guys, and they've all done a phenomenal job of staying with it and staying positive, and when their number hasn't been called in particular, and then when their number is called, being ready to go.
Sean, you're taking.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him over the last couple of weeks and projecting forward?
Yeah, he's looking good. He's worked his butt off, man, to get back to where he is, and we'll just see where it goes going forward. But we've always been big Ike Bucker fans, and when you watch what he went through and how he rehabbed to get himself back to where he is, that's added to his story, if you will, and I think that's good.
Are you keeping the door open on activating him before the Dolphins game?
We'll see, just one day at a time. Yeah.
Sean,
on your team can clinch a playoff spot this week. I know you do playoff caliber and the messaging and things like that. What is the messaging this week to maybe be able to achieve one of your goals if you guys get the job done Saturday night?
Yeah, really, Sal, again, just looking, to try and play better against a good Dolphins team. Like I said, a team that beat us, and they've got incredible speed, offensively, athleticism, length on both sides of the ball, in particular on defense, and they can run extremely well. They've got a good kicking game. So just, again, trying to play at a higher level than we did before.
In your experiences coaching defense, I know no linebacker tandem might be the same, but what makes Milano and Tremaine so good in how complementary they seem to be?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that comes from being out there together for whether it's just practice or games. Just that continuity of being around one another, knowing what each other are thinking and what one another are thinking, and watching film in the room after the coaches are done together. That goes a long way in terms of building that relationship and that being able to play well together in that tandem, like you said.
Sean, what has Shaq Lawson brought to your defense since rejoining?
I think more than anything, it's just hey, get the job done type of approach. Do your job, know your job, get it done. I don't want to hear about excuses. I don't want to hear about this and that, where you were drafted, what your journeys look like, just kind of that type of attitude. And I think that that's been good to see.
Sean, when it's a guy like Cole or John Brown before and they have familiarity with what you've done, when they come in, this isn't training camp, right? We're December, so is it ramped up and are you looking more physically or catching back up? And then in terms of them maybe with extra meetings or time,
Yeah.
because we're late in the season.
No, I think you got to look at all of it, Mike, and it's never just one. In those situations, it's really rarely one area that needs to kind of be checked, if you will. So you want to go through as many of those areas as you can in a short amount of time, and then make sure that you're putting the player in a position to be successful, and B, that they can do the job. And is it physically? Yes. Is it mentally? Yes. Is it playbook wise? Yes. So there's more than one.
Sean, are you confident that whatever was going on when he left here, or whatever that was, that's in the past kind of sealed off and might not come back to affect anything moving forward?
Yes. Yeah.
Christian Wilkins having a really solid year. You guys are familiar with him. You played him a
Yeah.
bunch of times. What challenges does he present? And also, as that D-line as a group, how much different is it now with Bradley Chubb in the mix?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a good job at the trade deadline of adding Chubb to that defense, and great player. And then Wilkins is having a great year. He's a great player also. So he's a force to be reckoned with. Both of those guys are, and someone that we have to. That's part of the challenge this week and going into the game is handling those guys.
John, their offense was tearing it up for a while, and then the last couple of weeks, a lot more struggles on their end. What does look different from your point of view those last 2 weeks?
I think sometimes the ball bounces in funny ways, and they're just as talented. And I think they again have one of the top passing offenses in the league, one of the top scoring offenses in the league, and so I just think that they it seems like just haven't been able to maybe convert all the ways that they want to convert, but still very potent, very dangerous offense. All right, thanks, guys.